Hello and welcome to another vlog with me, Yogan. So in this vlog, I'm going to be sharing about this program that I found within myself. This planning for the future program. So what is it? How does it work? Where did it come from? So for me, for this program, it has a signature where there's only one place where it's extremely clear where it came from, which was during my childhood. And I have a very clear memory of adults, like teachers or other adults, who were telling me that I need to make goals for the future. I need to plan for the future. And that this is the most important thing, that if I don't do this, I won't succeed, I won't have any success in life. And so naturally, I did follow them to the T, absolutely. I followed their advice. So I made sure that I had long-term goals, and I was thinking about the future, about what I want. And what was interesting was that I ended up having different choices. I had the choices of being a chef, a mathematician, a guru, or an engineer. Now, when I look at each of these choices, they were introduced to me by someone else, and I took it. And I took it as a choice that I can make. But I didn't actually go outside of that at all. It was just, these are my choices. The same thing with school, with getting grades. I was a straight A student within high school, and that wasn't by accident. When I was in middle school, people in my life, adults, told me how important it was to get good grades in high school. And so I took the information and I made the choice of following it, so I did it. And, when I make a choice, I make it and I follow it. And so I got straight A's. So yeah, that's what I did. I planned for my future. I every day was focused on getting the A's, making sure I had a plan to make sure I got it, and I got what I was going after. I mean, that sounds great, right? That sounds like the perfect story, the perfect way to raise the child, the best result possible, right? Right? But really, what's really going on? What has been my experience, really? And so, this has been my experience. If I don't have a long-term goal, then I will feel lost, feel unsure, feel confused and disoriented. If I were to fail at my goal, I would feel sick to my stomach. I would feel like crying, and I would feel like a punch in the gut. This is on a physical level that I'm seeing this very clearly. I mean, if someone just gives you 4 choices and you choose among those choices, is that really choice? It isn't. You are being created, you're being pre-programmed by someone else on purpose. And there's this experience that I had about, let's say, 4 months ago, where someone was giving the advice of just be who you are. When I heard that, I just was going like insane within myself, and it was just like screaming within myself that I do not know who I am. And recently, during that time period, I had been forced out of a job at an alternative school, which I'd always wanted to work at and be at, and I was planning a future for myself there. So once I was over, I didn't know who I was, which showed that who I am was defined by my goals. And this wasn't just in this one case, like a special case. This wasn't like this 1 year. This was my whole life. It's been like this since I was a little kid, and specifically like at a certain age where I specifically remember a time period where I was not like this, where I was here. And this is what I realized with all of this, was that, well, I was reminded of something that someone once told me, that there is no tomorrow. And that seemed like a very simple statement. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now with what I was investigating within myself, I remembered that. And immediately once I dropped the future, it's like my eyes opened up. That it was like this weight of the future, of thinking about what I'm going to be doing. Am I going to work in this? Am I going to work in that? Am I going to make money for the future? Am I going to do this? You know, all these points when all this is programming with the emotions and the feelings involved. It's not really real. And for me, my eyes have been like the main point I've been focusing on. If you've been following my vlogs the past few weeks, I've been focusing on my eyes a lot. And there's been so many points for me during the last few months about my eyes. Where yeah, if you look at me, I look like I'm like a stoner, you know, like this. And you look at all my photos since I was very young, like a little kid, like 10 years old, my eyes were like that as well. I obviously wasn't always like that. When I was much, much younger, I wasn't like that. And I really didn't understand why. And what I'm seeing clearly now is because of this programming of the future, where I literally carry the weight of the future. When I was younger, it was, you know, getting good grades, being a good student. That was my job, that was my role. And that's who I was. And I was held there by a programming. It's a program, it's based on energy. And this is the problem that most people think that, you know, do whatever it takes, like get rich or get good grades or be a success, no matter what, no matter the sacrifice. So when I tell people this about goal settings, they immediately say they don't look at they only look at the positive, you know, they only look at what they want to see. They only want to look at the success or their own failure for not following the set example of goals. But instead of really looking at the heart of the situation, about who people are, and really just taking in everything. You know, they only want to look at what they want to look at. You know. So here, to look at everything, which would be to look at, okay, who am I if I don't have any goals? That's like a self-honest truth. I feel horrible. I feel like pain in my body. I feel like I could die. And who am I with my goals? I feel a weight. My eyes closed. You know, I'm not really living. Even though I'm able to do all these great things, even though I accomplished so much, you know, really I accomplished nothing. Because what has everything accomplished so far led me? Nothing. So there is no tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. The goals don't even really exist. They exist in your mind. What is real is right here. So let's look at, for those of you who are ready and who understand already, let's look at what does it mean to be here? What does it mean to create, to live? It means that you have the absolute point within you to create. It means that there's nothing that is limiting you. That means you have access to the power that is your physical body, which is the only power you have available to you. In honesty, the people who understand this is very few. And so I ask those that understand to realize that there is no tomorrow and to investigate your future, your thoughts about the future, who you are to the future, and realize that the future doesn't exist, that all you have is here, today, right now. And just create with that. And you'll see, like, for me, my physical cross-reference was my eyes. That my eyes opened. It was something on a physical level where physically my eyes opened, where the last few days, weeks, I've been forcing my eyes to open. Like, I don't know, forcing it open. But now, for like what seems like the first time with awareness, I saw that my eyes opened, really. It's like by itself, or with myself. With myself it opens, within dropping the point of the future. This isn't some like crazy spiritual thing like, oh, there's no future. I mean, really, there is no future, but realize that the only thing that future can possibly exist as is a word, and it's in your mind. You can't touch it, you can't sense it, you can't feel it. So yes, it doesn't exist on a physical level. But the people who want to argue that, I don't know what to say. But yeah. So it's common sense that whatever I create right here, right now. I don't create it in the future. And there's just so much weight involved within the future. So for those that you are waiting, investigate the future. See your relationship to it. See your relationship to the word higher living. And it will better your life if you commit to what I'm saying. So test it out for yourself. Only you can benefit. Thank you.